is so much going on. All right, one of the things I'm gonna let y'all in on what I've been up to. By the way, I did open this up, in general. This is another thing. I was thinking about simulcasting on the YouTube, but I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm just testing out different formats and stuff like that. So this is not a YouTube thing. This is just you know, a us thing. There may be a couple of folk logged into the website that signed up with the website, but they're not in the trading room. So you guys get to peep a little something. I've been in the lab, man. I've been in the lab. Every time I come back through the door from running around and whatnot, I've been in the lab. I've been looking at a lot of different things. These pulse waves have been hitting. They've been hitting. I mean, they always hitting, but they really been hitting. I'm hoping you guys notice the the updated algos to read institutional inflows of money and things like that. Those things have been like real grimy, real shakiness going on in some of these markets. But it's been on point though. It's like lifting up the skirt and saying what's underneath, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. So I've been liking that. I did pull up, I don't know which one of y'all was asking, but I did pull up the ATXI ticker and I added that to the sheet. So you should see that on Monday's sheet as well. One of the things I noticed is that no matter what has been happening, even when those retail sales numbers and stuff was absolutely whizzack, the market didn't give a darn. They could say that half the planet blew up and the market would still be up. No matter what happens, the only direction is up in the stock market. And that's crazy. This is reminiscent of the 90s. This is what I saw in the 90s. And it's only the beginning stages because this is technically only year one. This is year one. Last year did not count because the prior year had just overcame some things, and we did have some ebb and flows last year. But this is year one. So my call that I made like 6 years ago when I warned that we were possibly heading toward the mother of all bull markets, the one that would make the 90s look pitiful, that's what I have been noticing and seeing happening. The machines have totally taken over the market in every way. Everything is on the buy side right now. I don't think there's a short seller in existence today. If they are, they're getting their heads handed to them. They're getting their faces ripped completely off, back to the white meat. And only buying is winning. Every pullback is being bought in the stock market. Every single pullback. Now, another thing of note is I'll pull it up, but I'm just going to tell you right now, the XIV. Been watching that one heavily because that usually signals when the stock market is done and going to turn over. And it has not done so. Even with the Russell pulling back the way it did, market doesn't care. It just lifts the Russell right back up with it. Even the US dollar. US dollar got smoked, came down to that 98 handle. And then what do? We run all the way back up close to par. Then you looked at the crude oil. Crude oil pulled back on people substantially. Now it's about midway from where it fell, hanging at that $47 handle. Boom. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't doing nothing. Market doesn't care. Shrugs it off. Gold. They beat gold all the way down to the teens. And now it's come roaring back, getting all the way back up to the 1231.60 handle. Crazy price swings there. Silver though is still in a $16 handle. I would have at least expected 16, high 16s, maybe low, maybe 17, 17.20 in silver, but we don't have that. We don't have that at all. Natural gas is absolutely on fire. If you have not been watching and paying attention to that nat gas, I don't know what to tell you. The nat gas has been absolutely on fire. It is not stopping. We are on pace for 350 coming up. That means it's going to take UNG with it. It's going to take UGAS with it. There's been a lot of news about natural gas. The last report that came out, I think it was yesterday, showed those inventory builds. That's mad bullish for this market. Also, there's been talk. I heard it on the news, on regular news channel, not even the business news, regular news channel, talking about some deal with the U.S. they worked out, at the highest levels of government, some type of export situation with China, us exporting our natural gas to China. That is going to just open up the floodgates. I heard talk about this a few years ago, talking about how nat gas was going to replace a lot of other energy alternative sources because it was cheaper and easily to maintain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I heard that, but the nat gas didn't turn on that news. It's taken 2 years. So now, the bottom is in the nat gas. We're done. If you didn't pay attention, you're done. You're not going to see those lows again. It's not going back down to a buck ever again. I see natural gas getting up really, really spectacular in height because that demand is going to come in. What I see the thing happening in that gas is the same thing that's going to happen in the gold and silver once we really get kicking. Right now, they're beating the metals into the ground because, there's no one else there to defend it. But soon, you're going to have India and China coming in here to play, and they're bringing the Islamic community with them, and it is going to be bananas. I'm telling you, they're going to be long all the miners. They're going to be all up in these metals. Now, China, is still the new kid on the block to a lot of things because they were a closed society for so long. So even though we've only been, maybe 20, 30 years building in here now, that's still not a long time. You know what I'm saying? So they've gone from a closed society to becoming mainstream. And they do have 1 billion+ people. But then so does India. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, it's amazing what's happening right now. Now I don't have no inverse plays being hedged in the nat gas. None at all. It's not even worth my time. I feel if I get stopped out, I'll sideline into the next buy trigger. But I think the short side is not even worth me playing it because any pullback is going to be very small. It'd be like trying to short the NASDAQ. I learned my lesson. I might as well just wait and get long and just wait for the get longs. I'm buy side pretty much everything right now. Buy side equities. I'm only buying the NASDAQ, buying all the pullbacks until major support things happen. If support's taken out and momentum changes, then I don't have a choice but to get short. But up here in these levels, just trying to short a correction, you have to be too nimble. I can't be that nimble right now. You know what I'm saying? I can't be that nimble. Some of y'all might be able to be that nimble, but I can't. You have to know your situation. If my situation changes, then I can be a little bit more nimble. I can take more trades. But for right now, nah, I'm just looking for those home runs to maintain. Yeah, I'm still long in nat gas, dude. You have not heard me say I liquidated my nat gas position. I am still long UGAS. I have not stopped being long UGAS. I've been holding UGAS down, it seems like, for the last couple of weeks. I'm riding until the wheels fall off, baby. I'm looking to add and add and add. I'm just waiting for that next trigger, and I'm in. I'm gonna be adding to my position on on the next wave, and that's it. So I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I've been calling the 350 for a while. It's like I called that Bitcoin 1500, and then everybody else started trying to chime in after the fact. But I told you Bitcoin 1500 when it was nowhere near it. It's like I called Dow 20,000, Dow 21,000 back when it was in the teens. It was nowhere near that. Matter of fact, it was falling like a rock when I called it. People seem to forget. They have short-term memories. You know, they want to remember things that you say that don't happen. You know, so anyway, you know, it's all good. I don't care about none of that. I just care about you guys making money. That's the only thing that matters. Yeah, right. I'm just a big algo. Hey, man, look, real talk. The that whole AI thing, you guys, man, they will not leave that alone. Even on CNBC and the Bloomberg and the other business channel, they will not leave that alone. They are pushing this AI thing like you wouldn't believe. I saw a hit piece earlier this morning, and they were talking about workers quitting their jobs to take a lesser paying job. Seriously, and they really couldn't give you a really good reason why this so-called research or trend is happening. I'm gonna tell you why I think it's a hit piece. Because I think they want to emotionally prepare you for, you know, extremely low wages, lower than we got now, and more minuscule, menial jobs. Seriously, because they're phasing you out. They're phasing out the job. So they want you to think this is normal. Oh, you should leave that good paying job voluntarily because you know you don't like your boss. He's a meanie. Leave that meanie. And that's what they're trying to get you to do. They're trying to get you to think that it's normal. It's okay. This is the way of the future. It's so dumb. You're right, and it is the only way to compete with wages for the rest of the world. That's that globalism agenda. Who cares what's going on in the rest of the world? You should be concerned about what's going on in your own backyard. Why does the U.S. care what their wages are in India? Let India work out India. You know what I'm saying? Well, see, eugenics is part of the globalism agenda. All right, so remember that. Oh, you said too, begins to the Jews. Now, you know, see, that's another thing too, man. You know, and I don't have time to deal with all these issues, but nah, when they say Jews, they need to stop saying the word Jew because they're not talking about the real Jews. That's an insult to the real Jews. There are no real Jews that are in control of Israel. That's those Khazars, okay? Those are Europeans over there. They are not Semitic people. They don't have a strand of Semitic DNA in their body. All right, the real Jews rolled out back in 70 AD and flooded Africa and fled, all right, to the mid-central parts of Africa. That's what they did. They rolled out. They bounced. A lot of them went back to Egypt and other places too, all through the African continent. All right, the real Jews are, as a matter of fact, a lot of the real Jews came over here in slave ships. You called them Africans, but they weren't Africans. They were Jews. They were the Hebrew people. All right. They rolled out after Jerusalem got sacked in 70 A.D. All right. So, you know, I'm not trying to make this so-called a race thing because technically speaking, there's no such thing as race. All right. There's only one race, and that's the human race. You know, ancient people, you never read in ancient literature them talking about, you know, white and black. Because technically speaking, there's no such thing as a white man or a black man. If you hold a so-called Caucasian person next to the color white, there's no comparison. They are not white. You hold a so-called black man up to the color black, and there's no comparison. Okay, there are different shades of brown and white. It's melanin in the skin. All right, people refer to themselves based on their tribes, clans, and nationalities. All right, the white and black thing came during the whole eugenics situation. All right, and it comes under, you know, so-called white supremacy and things of that nature. All right, but technically speaking, if you do your homework, you will find that the term black does not refer to nationality. It does not refer to one's skin complexion. It is a political term used to distinguish between the haves and the have-nots, the upper and lower class. Blacks are considered people of the lower class, the untouchables. In India, per se, would be considered black. I believe they use the term black in Russia and in Germany also to refer to the disenfranchised. All right, not color and nationality. So because this is not taught, we refer to each other as white and black, which is so ridiculous. All right, it's Caucasian, all right, or European, all right. And when you say European, there are mad countries in Europe, so that still doesn't say what they are. You could be from France, you could be from Great Britain, you could be from Australia, all right. People don't. That's how we need to refer to each other. All right, if you see a man of color, i.e. color, that doesn't tell you anything where they're from or who they are. All right. What nationality or what country are you from? What tribe or clan are you from? All right, and then it makes it even more crazy because now a lot of people are mixed. All right, it's not uncommon to go to a family reunion and see all types of nationalities represented in that family reunion. All right, so this whole thing with the eugenics and all that and quote unquote racism, all right, white supremacy, that's ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever. And to be quite honest with you, it's a new thing. All right, you didn't start really seeing that come about until, you know, the 1800s, really. All right, you just didn't see that. But unfortunately, people don't do research. They don't know what they're talking about. So now they're trying to do this whole, race bait thing here in this country. They want to have people going at each other's throats. But it's been backfiring because, again, we have a lot of mixed families in the USA. All right. So even our last president was of mixed DNA. All right. So how you going to try to cause dissension in that area? It's just stupidity. But it's a way to keep people distracted so they don't see the takeover of the machines. While you busy battling police brutality and things of that nature, and yes, it is true, no matter what you may think of Alex Jones, he did warn several years ago that police departments across the country were hiring certain types of people. It used to be difficult to get into the police academy, but not anymore, and I can attest to that. I have firsthand knowledge of that. They lowered their standards way, way down, and they were specifically hiring a certain mindset individual. They wanna hire people who are not so bright, someone who's going to really just take orders. That's what they want. And if you're, depending on what jurisdiction you're in, if you're biased toward the people that you're policing, that's a plus as well. All right, so we've been, co-opted, taken over by these nuts who believe in this new world order foolishness, and I think it's a travesty, and I think it's going to have a long range, um, blow up in your face problem down the line in the next 20 years. It's going to really blow up in their face. It's not going to work out the way they planned it to work out because they're not in control. They're not God. They're not the Most High. And I think that they're pitching for the wrong team. They think joining the satanic Luciferian agenda is going to get them somewhere because they see so many celebrities being part of that club, so many athletes being part of that club, so many musicians and actors and actresses joining that club. And yeah, it may seem that they are prospering, but at the end of the day, they're not. All right. And there's a whole lot more that could be said about that. That's not my thing. I'm well versed. I know about it, but that's not my thing. The YouTube channels that do a far better job of breaking all that down than I do. If you go to my YouTube page, these quote-unquote sponsored channels list, they do a much better job of explaining those other aspects of things than I do. And they have more time contribute and focus on that. My main thing is these markets. So without further ado, let's look at these markets. AXTI. This is a very nice stock. I like the chart. The daily chart looks absolutely nice. Looks like we finally got above this Kumo cloud here. This weekly chart at the bottom, look at this crazy rampage that took place. All right, so this is on tap for something good here. The question will be, can this get back and challenge this $9 range? Does it have enough momentum to do it? All things being equal, it's probably going to form this long triangle up in this piece here. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking for right now. It'll look something like this. Now, I've been practicing, so don't make fun of me. I've been practicing some stuff here. Let's see. All right, I kind of see, as you can see how it's coming off here. All right, it's coming off there. And we're probably going to meet somewhere over here, like this. All right, this is probably the way this is going to play out, okay? And this is the weekly chart, by the way. So it's going to play out like that. And this right here gives us probably, believe it or not, 6 or 7 more weeks of consolidation within this thing here. All right. So we're probably going to end up somewhere in the median, somewhere around the 650 handle. We'll probably oscillate between 650 and 720 for the next couple of weeks out. If the market, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen today, so if it can't get above 766 on the close. So this is probably what this is going to look like. All right, so this is going. I'm going to give us. I'll give us 6 weeks. 6 weeks of consolidation in this one before we decide if it's going to break down or is it going to break out. A breakout would give us enough momentum to get closer to like $10. Depends on how much pent-up energy we can get up in here. A breakdown, though, would bring us right down to the base of the Kumo cloud around $5.08. So this is a longer term analysis. This is a 6 to 7 weeks out analysis of this particular ticker, AXTI, and I have added it to the sheet as well. All right, let's take a look-see at something else here. All right, let's see. Wanted to look at, let's do the GDXJ real quick. I haven't figured out how to erase what I just did. I'm still learning how to use this thing. There should be a way to like erase this and oh, there it is. Okay. See, I'm learning as I go. I'm a fast learner, at least I try to be. All right, let's see here. All right, so this is your GDXJ. Now you can see how we just bested this here. This is great. If this market can close above 3152 today, it maintains its bullish momentum for next week. And this is a good thing, all right, because over here on the weekly chart in the corner right here, as you can see coming up to this line, if we can close above this momentum line, then it puts an end to the downtrend. And that means the low has been set of 29.33. So what do we need on the weekly? We need 32.88. That's what we need. If we don't get it, just be prepared. Be prepared that this could be sold heavily next week, because then we have this situation here. Let me get my coloring out here. We have this situation here. Right up in here, we sold there, and we sold here. So 1, 2, so then this will be 3. So first leg was here, second leg was a Lulu, and then here's the next one. All things being equal, this thing has the potential to move. Let's see, I'll tell you right now. Let's see, 3682 and 29. So this thing has the potential to drop to around $22 a share before we start revisiting and talking about putting in a base. So either we just met the base, we just did that, all right, we just did that. So last week's low is it. Then this week's low was the retest of this. All right, let me come over here and show you what I'm talking about. All right, follow the red dot. This low here is the base. That was last week. This week here is a test of this base right here. All right, the support held. The base has been built. It's set. So we should be able to leg higher. However, failure to close at that very important momentum will possibly set up for this leg here repeating itself. That brings us into the 20s, you guys, low 20s. All right, this is our GDXJ. This is our longer term outlook. And believe it or not, the bar setting for this is the next 2 to 3 weeks before we see this. So if this is going to be sold, then we'll see it this coming week. And we'll have another one of these moves right here. And then followed by 2 more weeks of this. So take this, move this right here, puts us into the 22 handle. All right. So everybody got that? That's our minors. Let me go ahead and erase that. All right. Question here says GLD. Any good news? Let's see here. Well, it's going to follow the way of the gold, and I showed you the gold futures. So let's see how that equates to the GLD. All right, on the daily chart, let's deal with the elephant in the room, which is this enormous ramp right here. This is nice. This should act as a support right here. We need to close above 116.81. As long as this closes above 116.81, we got a nice base to make a go at 118.27 next week. All right. So that's what we got going on based on the daily chart for the GLD. But if we switch it over here, let's examine this. And I'm going to put this one on the big chart. Let's put this up here, so you don't have to squint and see. All right, here we go. All right. So here's what we got. We got a situation that looks a little something like this. Let's see here. Actually, no, I'll use this. All right, so let's take a look. You see the downtrend channel in full effect, right? We're under the blue momentum line, which is bearish. Market would need to come and close above 118.64 in order to put an end to the downtrend. Say the base has been built. This is a weekly chart. See, weekly chart. We've been going sideways within this Kumo class. This is a big storm. It's a long stretching storm. We've been since back here all the way to here. All right, so that's mad weeks. That's months of just moving sideways. Technically speaking, the price today right now is the same price it was back here. So we have gone absolutely nowhere. All right. Technically speaking, gold is the same price today as it was at the beginning of this chart here. We've gone nowhere. You want to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and now this is work on the 14th week. 3 solid months of going absolutely nowhere. And we're negative pulse waving now. Not good. But I like this little spike here. Now this is a little spike low. This is testing that low. It's trying to say no, we're going to make this the low. So now this low needs to be tested next week. If we can not take this low out next week, then we've set up the argument and the perfect storm to close above the blue momentum line and put an end to, you know, the sell-off. Then we can make a run back at the upper end of the range. Truth be told, though, we still got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got another 5 to 6 weeks of consolidating within this cloud, meaning we go nowhere. So I don't think gold is quite ready to go yet. Like I said, it's waiting for everyone to say, screw you. I don't need this. I'm done. I'm tired of your drinking. When you drink, you're a clown, you're a monster, and you blow up at everybody. See how this this is uncalled for. This kind of violence is not good. Okay? You can't build a relationship with this kind of violence. So I'm tired of you, gold. You know, you start drinking and you start acting a fool, and I can't take it no more. That's what you say. Once everyone starts saying that, and they like, man, I ain't messing with gold like that no more, man. Nah, shorty bugging. Then that's when things will change. All right, hold on for me for 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off at? I can't remember. I get distracted and I lose my flow. I don't know what I was talking about. All right. Yeah, so we got like 5, 6 more weeks of just nonsense, possibly. That's good news. That's hopefully. All right. Things could still go buck wild. They could go left. This gold could break below this Kumo cloud, and if it happens, we're in free fall. All right. I didn't want to have to go there with that, but that's what this is. Is everyone hear me okay before I get all caught up? Okay, good. Yeah, so we drop below, we close below this Kumo cloud. It's done. We're done. We're going to drop below 110 on this GLD. All right. So this is what this is going to look like. Just to give you an image to take home. This is what this would look like. You ready? Whee! This is what that would look like. That's where we're going. All right. So that's your GLD analysis. Any questions on this before we move on to our next chart of our midday market mayhem? All right. Yeah, man. Just be prepared to go nowhere for the next 6 weeks. But that's what you want, though. See, when you're building a nice base for a rally, you don't want volatility. You don't want it breaking up and breaking down. You just want nothing. And then once it gets out the cloud, boom, you take off like a rocket. That's what you want. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. All right. Bitcoin topped out. All right. Let me erase that. This is looking like this. I'm gonna tell you what I see here. All right. This right here is our base. All right. As long as we close above 168 today, we are good. The bullish momentum is intact. Now, because you're closing like this way down here, that looks like a sword, doesn't it? All right, you Black Ops pirates. What is this over here? Let me show you. And then we're going to see who got it right. All right, here we go. What is this thingamabob? What do we call that? All right, DC got it. DC got it. It's a pointer. It's a pointer. Shooting star, pointer. I like pointer. Sword of Gideon. All right, so then what does that mean, class? Where in the world is this market going? Where is it headed? Ultimately, where is it headed? We know where it's headed because a pointer or shooting star, if you like to use that one, doesn't have to be a shooting star. That's why I like pointer, because it doesn't have to be a shooting star. It can have a big body too. This right here can have a big body. It just doesn't right now, but it can have a big body. And shooting stars can't. So shooting stars in that regard are limited. But this here is not limited. It's a pointer. We know where we're going. There you go. Pointers are like gaps. Those of you who are guests to this webinar, this Black Ops Premium Trading Room webinar, thank you for attending. Those of you who are not members of the Premium Trading Room, this is what we do. This is how we get down at the spur of a moment, without warning, without notice. We just spring up with a webinar, intraday, watching these markets, and this is just what we do. It's how we roll. All right, it's no superstructure here. We just get down how we get down. And mainly I try to do the pre-market post scan every day, followed by end of day report every day. But like this week, that has not been possible. But this is how we do. You know what I'm saying? And whenever we need to take a webinar, we do a webinar. All right, whenever we need to take a meeting, that's what we do. We get together like this and we bang these out. And sometimes within this situation too, we go shopping. We'll say, okay, here's let's get in. This right here looks good. That looks good. Let's do this thing. That's how we roll. And yeah, this is GBTC. This is the Bitcoin phenomenon. So with that being said, we topped out at 265. Bitcoin is pulling back. I did warn you all week long to tighten up your stops in GBTC and Bitcoin. Did I not? Anyone did not hear me say to tighten up your stops? Anybody say that they did not hear me warn about profit taking and pullback? All right. If you were listening, you could have taken one of two approaches. You know how I taught you on how to use intraday stuff to tighten up a stop on an intraday. That's what these two charts are down here that we haven't been even touching. This is our intraday thing right here, right? I have taught you well in how to use this, right? Anybody don't remember how to use this 4-hour chart and this 1-hour chart? We do not enter the market on these charts. We use these charts to trail our positions and then get the heck out of Dodge. Were you not warned right up in this piece here to get the heck out of Dodge? Right here. Huh? What? All right. Unless you're using the stop loss on today's sheet, as far as the Bitcoin itself, not the GBTC, but the Bitcoin, I don't want to hear no crying from nobody. All right. Now, the stop on today's sheet was at 1,600. All right. On the Bitcoin. That was the conservative stop. Depending on where you got long at, that was the conservative stop for today. All right, the stop's going to change after today, obviously. All right, it may not. I don't know. We'll see what the system do. I don't know. The post waves have a mind of their own. They do what they do. But remember, the slogan is take what you can and give nothing back. If Bitcoin was at $1,840 something, why wasn't your stop at least at 1,800? You feel me? I don't want to see nobody crying, talking about, I can't believe I was up this big and I done lost it all. How could Bitcoin fall like this? Why is it falling? Is it the central banks? Is it the robots? Is it the algorithms? What's happening? And I'm gonna tell you, it's none ya. It's none of that. It's just raw, pure profit taking. All right. So that's how we move. That's how we roll. All right. Someone says, okay, tech analysis is an old game. What do you use to back your chit up? Excuse the lingo. Tell me, my good man. All right, what you mean by that? I don't understand what you're saying, but make it plain for me. I got the mic turned on too. If you want to say something, you can chime in. The mic is on. The mic is hot. Break it down for me. I don't understand the question. Tell it. Make it plain, my man. What you asking me?
Yeah, technical analysis is kind of an old game now. Mm-hmm. What do you use to back up what you're saying?
All right, what do I use to back up what I'm saying?
Behind the technical analysis. Mm-hmm. Your algorithms, what?
It's all algorithm based, my man. Everything that I do is all systems based, 100%. There is no discretion. There's none of that stuff. Everything is algorithmic based, price points, and that's it. That's why they're called price triggers. So okay. I don't have to think. I don't have to worry about what's going on. I don't have to worry about news. Don't have to worry about earnings reports. None of that stuff. Price is what pays. We follow the price. Price action only. That's what it's about. Technical analysis just helps you to look at a chart to see what price has been doing. It does not tell you what it's doing or why it's doing it or how it's doing it. So you're right. Those are the limitations of technical analysis. Unless you understand the algorithmic process and how to read them and follow them, you will not be able to keep pace with these robots and these machines. It's impossible. So that's what I've designed, is the price triggers. The price triggers know where the key price points are in all the markets at any given time. And that's what I use. That's how we roll. That's what we do here, folks. Can you review use a 4-hour chart to trail stops? Yes, I can. We'll do the premium trading room segment afterwards. But yes, we'll go over that again. Let's see, next one. Seems like you're using same type algos to beat them at their own rigged games. Absolutely. All right. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who maybe not remember, or you're new, you haven't followed me, you haven't listened to all my different interviews on YouTube. I got my start out on Wall Street as a systems guy. I designed algorithms to extract monies out of the financial markets. The first system that I ever designed was an algorithm to extract money out of treasuries, out of the treasury market. So I did bonds. From there, I moved over to live cattle and soybeans. Then I did cotton. Then I did the S&P 500, moved on to the NASDAQ and the Dow, and the rest is history. But that's what people paid me to do. They paid me to design algorithms or systematic processes to extract money out of the market for what they were trying to accomplish. So that's how everything was born. So that's how we roll. Everything's an algorithm. Everything's a price point. And I look at market depth. I look at where orders are, where people's stops are. You know how people always complain and say, oh man, them banks or JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, they ran my stops, they're running stops. Well, that's what we do too. We have an aspect of the system called Stop Runner, which tells us where the stops are, where the key stops are located, and then we gun for those. That's what we do. For those of you who didn't hear the interviews before too, and the stories behind me getting kicked out of the trading pit, they wouldn't take my orders for the cotton futures anymore because I would buy the low of the day and sell the high of the day before the market opened. And I did it on multiple occasions, and I can still do it to this day if I want to. Now, don't get it twisted. It's not one of those things where, oh, any day I feel like it, I can just do something. No, because the market is not primed to move in a certain way like that. Those things come very rare. You may get an opportunity to do it maybe once, twice a year if you're lucky, but it's not one of those things that you can just do whenever you feel like it. It's whenever the market sets itself up to do it. To be quite honest, full disclosure, the last time I did it, I think it was 2011. That was the last time I was able to do that. And I did it twice. I did it twice in a row back in 2011. It hasn't set itself up to do that again since, just to let you know how rare the situation is. All right, next thing is the 911 crash alert on AG this week still something to consider even though the pulse wave entry price was breached yesterday, or is it a case that the crash alert didn't play out? All right, let's see. Let's pull that one up. Let's look at it. Oh, and by the way, your Bitcoin now is down $63.48. Ouch. Ouch. We've dropped $100 from the high. All right. Remember, it got up to like 1842, and now we're at 1743.89. $100 profit taking pullback. Told you so. Take Back Friday in full effect, folks. Take Back Friday is in full effect. All right, let's pull up. Let's go to this AG. Let me erase all the gobbledygook off the sheet. Off that screen. All right, let's peep this. Let's put the daily on here up top, and then we'll look at the weekly here at the bottom. Let's see what we got. All right, AG seems to be in play. Oh yeah, this is slick. Okay, so here's what we got. Without even looking at the price triggers on this one, just looking at the naked chart, yeah, that crash alert did not play out. The market has key reversed itself. This here is a bullish engulfing candle. It's a key reversal. It surely is. And even though this looks nice and pretty down here, let me just get the little pointer out. Even though this looks really, 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 really sexy. Let's see here. This looks sexy. It's right here. Follow the little red dot. This is dope, right? Oh, the lows are in. Pump your brakes. This does not mean that the lows are necessarily in. because this is happening in a downtrend. All we did was put an end to the downtrend for now, but look where we are. We're bumping up against key resistance. I repeat, key resistance right up in this area. Are we going to be sold like here? Are we setting up for the next leg down? Possibly. Possibly. Therefore, I wouldn't get this twisted up in here. This joint may get sold right back down again, because here is your downtrend channel still in effect. Has anything changed on this chart? No, sir. It has not. All right. The channel is still intact. Nothing's changed. This is impressive. This is quite a tape back Friday, quite a reversal. This is sexy. But looks like we got a gap that we need to deal with here. Let's see what we got. Let me change this hither and thither. Let's see here. We got 840, 650. Yep, we got a gap. Red alert, we got a gap. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a gap. This gap needs to be dealt with before we move forward. All right, at some point, gaps got to be filled. Now, it can come back, fill this gap, and keep right on booking and make and gun for the top of the Kumo cloud here at this this $9 range, which would be sexy if you're long, but you can't ignore this gap that needs to be filled. This is a danger zone. It's like a magnet pulling you back down. Another thing that makes this very critical is that on your weekly chart, this is resistance. Resistance is at 863 and $9 respectively. You got an error gap from 863 to from 863 to $9. All right, so you got approximately 37 to 40 cent air pocket that needs to be dealt with. It's going to make it hard for this gap to be filled and then for you to take out the prior resistance high, because this is $9 is strong. It also coincides to the top of this Kumo cloud. All this right here, all this price action right in here coincides to the top of this Kumo cloud. Isn't that spectacular? Isn't that special? How interesting, right? So this one has some work to do. Nice bull, breakout today. Nice. But we got to see what's popping next week. It's setting us up lovely for next week. All right, it's looking like we're going to close on the daily chart above the 808, so not a problem. And we're going to close above the 819 on the weekly, not a problem. All right, you got nice bullish momentum here. Great. But we got to look at this resistance, and we got to fill the gap. All right, let's see. What's up? How long the webinar been popping? Heck if I know. I don't have a timer on it. I haven't been paying. I think I started like 30 minutes after 11. Yeah, so it's been about an hour. About an hour. And I probably monologued for like 20 minutes saying nothing. So, yeah. 40 minutes is about right. All right, what else? What else? Anybody else need me to look at anything? Matter of fact, what do you think about the week though? I mean, let's chop it up. What y'all think about the professional money flows index and the high frequency bot checks? What do you think about those two indexes? Have those have you been seeing them play out for you? Is it helping them to open the eyes to see all the other indicators? You missed the part about Bitcoin. What did I tell you about being late to class, huh? All right, you had detention. You got to stay after for detention. I'm tired of it. You're late for class, okay? You're not turning in your homework. I'm tired of it. Nah, real talk. We was talking about the big pointer on the GBTC chart, and how you remember what that stands for, what that means, and that had I not warned all week about tightening up your stops in the Bitcoin and getting ready to, take some profit off the table, I did warn about that. Okay. Here's how this is looking. Coming down from that 265. This is your daily chart. On your weekly chart, you got the what? The pointer. So don't fall in love with the downside, baby, because we probably going to go right to 300 next week. Yeah, eventually it's going back up. You see that sword, right? You see that liquid sword, right? You see that. So pointers are like gaps. You got to deal with them. At some point, it's pointing the way. It's telling you what's up. It's telling you where you headed. Now, I know a lot of, people who are here today hanging out with us. I appreciate y'all chilling, coming to hang out. But like I said, this is how we kick it in the premium trading room. This is what we do. This is a normal day for us. That's one of the pluses of being in the premium room. You're surrounded by other traders from around the globe. You got me, you know what I'm saying? So we're a family. It's not a million people in the room. We got a nice group of people in the room, and it's not a million people, and we're a family. And just so y'all who are not part of the family, who are guests here today, let me keep it 100 with you real quick. Just because you can afford the monthly premiums, which are dirt cheap compared to most programs and stuff out there, it doesn't mean that you click with the family. Like I said, at the end of the day, we're a family. And as you notice, how we talk, how we communicate with each other is family. There's no beefing. There's no foolishness up in here because we don't allow that. You know what I'm saying? If anybody, if we got a character like that, they got to go. If the ladies and gentlemen don't like you, you got to go. That's how we roll here. I'm not playing. I'm being dead serious. All right. That's why we don't have a million people in the trading room. If we wanted to, right now, we could market and get a million people in this trading room easily. But it's not about that. At the end of the day, the reason this room exists is for me to help as many people as possible make money and to prove to themselves that it can be done on a consistent basis. That's what this is about. All right. You can look at it like a big giant experiment, if you will. You can say this is the Richard Dennis and his turtles part 2. All right. I know that this can be, repeated. It's repeatable. I know that. So my thing is to help as many people as possible. I can't help everybody though. I can't. People who complain and make excuses why they can't do something, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna be a grown man or grown woman, I can't help you. I do webinars. I do. You got the post waves. You got the explanations on how to read this. I mean, I don't know what else to tell people. Tell you where to buy. Tell you where to sell. I mean, what more do you want me to? Do you want me to feed you and burp you too? I don't know what to say. We do what we do. And you got your other family up in the trading room. Everyone's on different countries and stuff, different continents. You can bounce ideas off each other. They'll help you. They'll, as much as they can, they'll break it down to you, tell you how to read stuff. I don't know what more people will want. I don't know. So this is how we rock out. All right, let's see what we got here. AG had crash alert May the 10th. Institutional money buy on May 11th. Crash could still play out to fill the gap, but the 9s and the 39s sure make the positions move quickly. Yeah, you're right. You're right. See, that's why I added those, so that you could spotlight the price action, like put a flashlight on that price action to see what's going on, like kicking the tires and flipping the hood and seeing what's under the hood of that muscle car, Let's see here. I never thought I could be family with an algo, but welcome to the new age of algo. That's what's up. Boss, can you look at the Euro CAD and the Euro Yen? All right, let me see what's up. EUR/CAD. All right, what we got? Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is interesting. I'm glad you asked me to look at this. This is a great teachable moment. Let me delete the prior drawings off of here. All right, listen up. This is going to be dope. Y'all need to see this. Y'all really do. All right. We got it on the weekly right now, right? Okay. It is rare to almost non-existent to have a gap in the currency markets because they trade 24/7, no breakage, just trade outright like Bitcoin. All right. As a matter of fact, Bitcoin though trades more so even than the Forex because Bitcoin trades all the way through Saturday and Sunday. Forex don't trade on Saturday. So this is non-stop here, right? But you do need to take a look at this right here and this right here. Okay, how can I break this down and explain this to you? Let's see here. Let's start with this. Anyone notice anything different about this Kumo cloud? Anybody? Anybody want to chime in? I got the mic hot if you want to say something. What do you notice? Just look at the chart. What do you notice about this Kumo cloud versus all the other Kumo clouds that we've dealt with? Flat on the top. Okay, that's one observation, but we did look at another one. Looks bearish and the chart has hit resistance. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Okay, you got it. You got it. Ding, 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 ding. This is a bearish Kumo cloud. Green clouds or bullish Kumo clouds. Red clouds or, green is bullish, red is bearish. Now, that in and of itself doesn't necessarily mean anything because prices can drop through a bullish Kumo and they can rally through a bearish Kumo. If you squint your eyes, you can see here on the screen, prices falling below this bullish Kumo cloud right here. See what I'm saying? You see prices rallying through on this bearish Kumo cloud here. So things can go left. The reason why I wanted to point this cloud out though is because notice how you have ramps on the green cloud, but notice the inverse ramps on the bear cloud. These are some pretty steep ramps on the downside. All right. Big steep drops. No joke. All right. For those of you in the hip hop, choke, no joke. This is no joke, man. All right. Gravity is pulling the price down this right here. And once it hits this part right here, it accelerates like straight down. So this is a top. You got a pointer back here. All right. The pointer did its job. It's up to the price action to close above the top of the pointer now. Failure to do so tops this out, double tops it, and then you crash hard back down to the 138 level. All right, that's your Euro CAD. All right, so what are you looking for going forward? You got to best this. You need to close above the top on the weekly chart of this pointer. You got to close here on the week. Failure to take this out on a close on the week double tops you and you fall. This is looking like that's not even going to happen at all. That this is the top and then we fall back down again. And then once you get down here and scare people to death, then your next high will probably be 143. Ouch, right? I know. So let me show you what I just told you so you can see the visualization of what I just said. Here was your first top right here. This right here is marking the second top. Prices will probably come down to here. Then when they bounce, they top here. So you complete the cycle this way, and then down again, way down here somewhere, maybe the top of his head right here. I'm being silly, but you get my point though, right? You see what I'm saying, right? So you got to watch this. That's what your risk is, longer term. That's what your risk is. All right. Any questions on the Euro CAD before we go to the Euro Yen? All right. Let's go to that Euro Yen. Euro Yen is my favorite currency pair to trade, hands down, no questions asked. Euro Yen. Does anyone know why I say Euro Yen is my favorite one to trade? Anybody? Anybody know why? I did reveal it before. I don't know if anyone remembers. Oh, you guys, man, y'all, you guys are gifted and talented. Y'all not just students, you gifted and talented. That's what y'all are. You know, I like that. You're right. Proxy for the NASDAQ. It is the perfect thing to track the E-mini S&P 500, the E-mini NASDAQ, or the Dow futures. Yes, 100% of the time it tracks it. It has like a 1-to-1 correlation. You see this chart, for the most part, you see the stock indexes. Even if the chart looks different, the price action behaves the same. Now, I'm gonna prove it. Watch this. I'm gonna use the NASDAQ. Chart look different though, don't it, right? At first look, it looks different at first glance, right? But look at that. This is a weekly chart. There's that. Here's this leg right here, 3 weeks straight, right? Here's this one. Here's this leg, same leg, 3 weeks straight. Don't argue with me. What? Because I know somebody was like, man, them charts are so different. What are you talking about? I don't follow nothing. He don't know what he's talking about. 1, 2, 3 weeks straight. Game over. All right? The charts will never look the same. All right? Because this thing trades 24/7. Unlike the E-minis, they have little breaks in between. This goes on and on. It doesn't stop. All right? That's why. But this is the true chart right here. 3 weeks straight. Boom, boom, boom. Any questions? All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Euro USD similar pulse wave has a sell level at 110. Let's peep that real quick. All right. Yeah. Yep. See, same situation. Look at this steep thing going down here. My. Now, all things being equal, let's just go ahead and pull out our little chalk here, a little highlighter. All right. So you got mad resistance right here. So we'll fall down here. Gonna head here. Consolidate around. And then shoot back up to here. And then here's your little trend line. Boom. That's where you're headed. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going to take place. This is a weekly chart. This is a weekly chart. So you're looking at mad weeks before you end up here. Does anyone know why this scenario looks so gloomy? Anyone? Let's see how gifted and talented you guys really are. Why did I just draw the chart this way on the euro? Post-election, you're on the right track. France. Okay, all right, I'll give you that. Well, but I'm looking for something else. What am I looking for? Close that ugly gap. Okay, I'll give you the gap. I'll give you the gapage. Okay, right? But nah, this is bigger than the gap. What else? Anybody else? Ah, K. Ding, 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 ding. K, you got it. The dollar. That dollar. Remember, the Fed game is tight. All right. They're going to prop that dollar up if it's the last thing they do. I know Trump has been talking about, this weak dollar policy for export, import situations, but he can't, he's not in control of that. They need a strong dollar. The dollar is the world reserve currency. It cannot be the weakest link. It cannot. It's been the weakest link for like forever. The euro is par '09. All right, par '09. How can the euro be par '09 and the US dollar is trading below par? Come on, man. That should be telling you something. You know they're not happy with that. You watch. They're gonna flip, they're gonna trade places. They're about to flip flop. They want that euro to be trading under par and they want the dollar to be at $1.09. That's why I gave that $1.06 year-end outlook for the dollar, and I'm still standing by it. I'm telling you, that's what's up. So now let's look at that dollar. Let's look at that dollar. Let's take a look. Take a look-see. Let's look under the dress. All right, here we go. Downtrend channel been full effect. But we got rampage. Oh, my. What do we have here? You notice that I did not erase the joint and it looks the same setup as the euro with the exception of the huge ramp. Isn't that funny? What are the odds? What are the odds? Let me erase that though, because that don't apply here. Mad rampage right here. Mad rampage. And it looks like we're going to stop around 102. I think 102 needs to be the new base if we're going to get to 106. Market can't do it without us closing and staying above 102. So that's how you're going to know when they're ready to really ramp up is when we get back to the 102 and we hold it. We've had a problem with it. If you look to the left of the crosshairs, going all the way back to the left of this chart, you see that marks that 102 level. And right there, that's 101.5. You see how we've had a problem even getting up there? And then here's your 102 right up in here. So it's had a problem with the 102 level. 102's definitely been a problem. All right. Can't seem to just stay there. We stayed above 102 for 1, 2, 3 weeks. And that was it. We've never been able to hold the 102 again. We only held 102 for 3 weeks. All right. And that was right here. 1, 2, and 3. That was it. 3 weeks. 3 weeks, baby. That's it. And then we boof. Come back up, boof. Come back up, boof. But now we're coming up to the ramp, and that should catapult it back to 102 again. All right, doesn't that mean the XAU Illuminati gold isn't going to shoot up anytime soon? Well, just like we addressed toward the beginning of this broadcast, we are looking at about 6 more weeks of consolidation within the Kumo cloud of death for the gold futures before we can even decide what's going to be the fate in the near term for the dollar. I'm sorry, for gold. All right, has hack played out this week? All state hospitals in UK suffered a large-scale hack attack today, and large Spanish telecoms firm and ransom hacks being reported across world demanding Bitcoin. Da-da-da-da-da! Well, I did warn about hack, didn't I? No, it has not played out yet. Let's pull up hack. Yeah, it played out, but I don't think it's over. It ain't over. It ain't over. How Teddy Riley and them used to do that one song. They have a guy, it ain't over. It ain't over. Then the song come back on. Groove me, baby. tonight. Y'all remember that? No, that's before most of y'all time. Y'all young. I forgot most of my audience is only 15 years old. Let's see here. Then you guys found out that I was only 12, sitting behind the computer. All right. Here we are with this hack. This ain't over. This is just a pullback, take back Friday. As long as this thing closes above 29.33 today, we maintain the bullish momentum going forward for Monday for next week. Also, mad rampage. It looks better down here. Oh, excuse me. Looks better down here than it does across, stretched out here. So this is stretching out too. This is stretching out. So we're probably going to consolidate. Then you got a little rampage here, then more consolidation. So we're probably going to chill. We're probably going to top out around here for a while. This is probably the range we're going to be in for a minute. But I'm saying I'm gonna call it the dividing line right here, around the 28 something. That's going to be our base. All right. On intraday spikes, we may tail down to here, but I think we're going to maintain this $28 handle here for the foreseeable future. But as long as hack, trades at $30 and above, that's red alert. Alarms are going off. Alarm bells are going off. If it trades below $28, then all is quiet and well on the home front. But once we get above that $28, that's when the alarm bells start going off, warning alerts and all that. 29, now we're really starting to look. 30, oh, something's going down. That's how we look at it. All right, any more questions? This has been very fun today. Anybody, anything? Does NAC have enough momentum to make it out of the Kumo cloud next week? I think we did look at NAC earlier. Let's look at it again. All right, knick-knack, paddywhack, get a dog a bone. Oh, look at that ramp. That ramp is absolutely tizite. But this is weird, guys. Notice how when I forget to erase the things, these lines are telltale for the next chart. Isn't that crazy? Seriously, look at this. Let me tell you why. You can't make this stuff up, guys. I told you the algorithms and the machines and the robots are all linked up. I warned y'all. I told y'all. See, I'm glad that we're doing this so you can actually see the stuff for yourself. How the stuff I draw on one screen is prophetic to another security. Oh, snap. Peep this. This is where we at. This is where we're going to consolidate according to the ramps. Next ramp is right. This is a key ramp right here. This coincides to this ramp. Right. Come on, man. You can't make. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone of charts. Come on, dude. This is tight. You can't deny this. Look at this. Ramp up to the next leg higher. Hit resistance around here, which is correct, which corresponds to the top of the 330. Come on, people. Y'all don't see this twilight zone stuff happening right now? 345. This is a resistance level, people. And then the next leg up is right up in this piece here. Oh my goodness. I give up. I quit. You can't make this stuff up. This is weirdness. This is mathematical weirdness happening right here before your eyes in real time, people. All right. Let's look at FFMG. All right. FFMGF. All right. Oh, it's doing it again. This is crazy. I don't know what to say. This is dope. Look at this. The resistance corresponds to this resistance here. That's crazy. This marks closing above the prior resistance and the next support level. This right here corresponds to the trend line resistance and the beginning of this Kumo cloud right here, and the ramp starts right with it, right as this is ramp. Come on, man. I give up. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right, here you go. Your initial target for this one is at 59 cents. You're hoping you can hit that sometime next week. Then you're going to have trouble at the bottom of the Kumo cloud around $63, $64. But a close above, you need to close above, I want to say $68, $69 gets you outside of the Kumo cloud and back into a bullish configuration where you can start to run toward the 80-cent mark and then back to maybe $1 if you're lucky. All right. So that's my take on this one. Need a close today above the 51-cent target, and then you're good to go. As long as it closes above this, then you've put it into this downtrend. You have bullish momentum now. This is the beginning of that here. And you got good news that says that you're going to make this run that I just spoke to you about, because here is the low. Here was the test of the low. Did not take out the low, and then you key reversed. Boom. All right. Any other questions? Hey, no, hey, you never go broke taking profits. What's your take on SLV? All right, SLV. All right. SLV is way down hither, still weak. And this is a weekly chart, unfortunately. This is not over. This is not over. We could even get back up to the momentum line of $16.17. Couldn't even do it. So, yeah, this is going to probably set up for more selling for next week. So I see this going down this way. Yeah. So these don't even come into play on this chart. I knew it was going to end at some point. All right. So yeah, that's this. So the SLV is not looking good. Top of the Kumo cloud corresponds to the trend line momentum, and that's going to be a key resistance, and it's probably going to be a big deal to get a close up into the cloud. But if it does, you stand to consolidate for at least 10 weeks before coming out of this here. So this chart is suggesting that you got 10 more weeks before the groundhog sees its shadow. Hold on one second. Yeah, you guys, this is nothing short of chart magic today. It's been crazy. All right, let's see here. So we can move on from the SLB. We got that. All right, let's look at MGIC. All right, MGIC. Well, that looks bullish. That looks really good. It's consolidating up here, though. Let's see. Yeah, this thing has gone nowhere here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6 weeks in a row, and all you're doing is trading within the range. So your high is the 815, and then your base is down here around 751. Yeah, you just consolidate it. It's bullish, and all your actions happening outside of the Kumo cloud, which is bullish. But it's kind of like just chilling. It's maintained this momentum for, it lost it on this week, lost it again on this week, but each time it loses, it regains. You're just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then up now. You just broke the cycle this week. You were up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now you're trying to break the cycle. As long as you can maintain the 780 on a close this week, then you're good. Looks like that's not going to be a problem. And it looks bullish. I see no conviction really in this market, long or short. It's just consolidated. All right. Anybody else? Uranium Energy Corp. What's the ticker on that? Okay, here it is. UEC. All right, you got a nice little steep ramp right here too. It looks good. You're still in a negative pulse wave. You just stopped going down. You just did a big key reversal here. Profit taking is huge on this one. You bested all your resistance. As long as it stays above the 134 level today on the close, the momentum is good going into next week. But I tell you what I see here. This is what I see. Let me get the chalk out. You just set the range for the rest of this consolidated cloud going forward. This is going to consolidate until you get to the ramp, and then that'll give you a chance to break through the 155 resistance. So this trades within a range from 153 to 113 for the next several weeks. Kind of trapped here. Yep. Yep, for a while. This is several bars, man. This is a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 10 weeks. The next 10 weeks possible. Next 10 weeks. Now, what's the caveat? A close below this Kumo cloud could be devastating, because then you could be in free fall, and it would be very, 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 very dangerous. You're getting to the pennies at that point. This is a doomsday scenario. You don't want to see this scenario play out. Close below the Kumo cloud is a dry ships sentence for this stock. All right. I don't think this scenario is going to happen. I think once you get up in here, then it breaks to the next leg higher. And the next leg in this one will be over $2. Once it goes, it's going to go. It's just not ready yet. Yeah, the junior miners have just been getting destroyed. And if you missed my analysis of earlier, you know, when I go back and post this, you'll see it. It's pretty devastating. We're not even nowhere near the lows yet in the mining section, unfortunately. So hopefully, all right, hold on, we got another question. AMD. I was thinking about AMD earlier this week too. Wow, same situation for AMD. Well, this is the spookiest charting segment I've ever done, where the prior analysis is good for the next chart. You guys are seeing this, right? I mean, I'm not the only one seeing this. All right. This top corresponds to the top here. This corresponds to the support base of the Kumo cloud here. And this is showing you where you go if you fall below the Kumo cloud. And then this shows you at the top of the ramp where you go from, man, come on. You guys seeing this? That's dope. That is so true. Same analysis as the prior chart. Exactly. Even to the consolidation weeks. Dopage. Can't make this stuff up, folks. You can't. This is dope. So we were warned about the Dow 21,000, Dow 20,000 before it was anywhere near it. You were warned about the Bitcoin profit taking. It's happening. You were warned about the carnage in the miners and the metals. What more do you want from me, people? You can't handle the truth. All right, so what's up? What else we got? Anybody? What do you call a deer with no eyes? That's a good one. A deer with no eyes. No idea. Oh, I like that. No idea. All right. I like that. I like that. Enjoy your weekend too, you guys. Hey, love you guys. Please remember to be encouraged. If you have any questions or anything, you know I'm always available. Um, in case y'all didn't know, I always take off on Saturdays. I do no work whatsoever. I don't even check email. That is my day of rest. That is my Sabbath. I do nothing but chill with the fam. Sometimes I try to extend it into Sunday, but I do know that, I work Sundays because that's the beginning of the trading week. Futures and Forex open at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I don't have a choice. And I got to make sure the post waves are out for you guys so you have time to study them. So I got to already do that. But if y'all need anything, you know I got you. How do you sign up for the premium site? Okay. All you do, when you go to the postwavetrading.com website, you want to sign up for the weekly post-wave price triggers. When you sign up for the weekly post-wave price triggers, that gives you access to the premium trading room. It gives you access to the live coaching with me, and you have access to all the other traders in the trading room. You can talk to them. We're all here for you. It gives you unlimited access to the Learning Academy, where you can download all the learning modules and tutorials. All right, you can download them and watch them at your own leisure, whatever. So you get access to everything when you sign up for the weekly post wave price triggers. All right, so come join the family, man. All right, so with that said, man, remember I'm always here for you guys. Seriously, you guys can shoot me messages in the trading room, or you can send it to the email address. This is the email address to use to hit me directly, in case y'all don't know. That's it right there. And you hit me up. I'm always available. I don't mind answering questions. Okay, don't feel bad about answering me questions. I do my best to help you out, especially if you're struggling. If you're struggling, let somebody know. Don't just struggle in silence. We family, okay? If I'm not around to answer your question, someone else in the trading room will be. All right. So if you're struggling, say something. You're struggling. All right. Well, if you're struggling, hit me up. We can talk. We can talk. We can see where you're struggling at, what parts you're getting, what parts you're not getting, whatever. Because remember, at the end of the day, folks, I'm not successful unless you are. You guys are my testimonies. All right? You guys are the testimonies, not me. You. All right? So I need everybody to be successful. Everybody. No excuses. That's what we do. All right? That's what we do. I have to make sure you guys understand stuff, So if you're struggling, you can't understand certain things. You know what I'm saying? It's one aspect you're not good, you're not clear on. That's what we do, man. That's what we do. If you need help understanding the material, that's what I mean when I say if you're struggling, let somebody know. That's what we do. All right. All right. So anyway, I am out of here. So love you guys. Be encouraged. Everyone have a great weekend. And remember, tighten up those stops, and you'll never go broke taking profits. All right. With that said, peace. Remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back to these greedy markets. Peace out. The thing of note is I'll pull it up, but I'm just going to tell you right now, the XIV. Been watching that one heavily because that usually signals when the stock market is done and going to turn over. And it has not done so. Even with the Russell pulling back the way it did, market doesn't care. It just lifts the Russell right back up with it. Even the US dollar. US dollar got smoked, came down to that 98 handle. And then what do? We run all the way back up close to par. Then you looked at the crude oil. Crude oil pulled back on people substantially. Now it's about midway from where it fell, hanging at that $47 handle. Boom. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't doing nothing. Market doesn't care. Shrugs it off. Gold, they beat gold all the way down to the teens, and now it's come roaring back, getting all the way back up to the 1231.60 handle. Crazy price swings there. Silver though is still in the $16 handle. I would have at least expected 16, high 16s, maybe low, maybe 17, 17.20 in silver, but we don't have that. We don't have that at all. Natural gas is absolutely on fire. If you have not been watching and paying attention to that nat gas, I don't know what to tell you. The nat gas has been absolutely on fire. It is not stopping. We are on pace for 350 coming up. That means it's going to take UNG with it. It's going to take UGAS with it. There's been a lot of news about natural gas. The last report that came out, I think it was yesterday, showed those inventory builds. That's mad bullish for this market. Also, there's been talk. I heard it on the news, on regular news channel, not even the business news. Regular news channel talking about some deal with the U.S. they worked out, at the highest levels of government, some type of export situation with China. Us exporting our natural gas to China. That is going to just open up the floodgates. I heard talk about this a few years ago, talking about how nat gas was going to replace a lot of other energy alternative sources because it was cheaper and easily to maintain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I heard that, but the nat gas didn't turn on that news. It's taken 2 years. So now, the bottom is in the nat gas. We're done. If you didn't pay attention, you're done. You're not going to see those lows again. It's not going back down to $1 ever again. I see natural gas getting up really, really spectacular in height because that demand is going to come in. What I see the thing happening in that gas is the same thing that's going to happen in the gold and silver once we really get kicking. Right now, they're beating the metals into the ground because, there's no one else there to defend it. But soon, you're going to have India and China coming in here to play, and they're bringing the Islamic community with them, and it is going to be bananas. I'm telling you. They're going to be long, all the miners. They're going to be all up in these metals. Now, China, is so much going on. All right, one of the things I'm going to let y'all in on what I've been up to. By the way, I did open this up, in general. This is another thing. I was thinking about simulcasting on the YouTube, but I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm just testing out different formats and stuff like that. So this is not a YouTube thing. This is just a us thing. There may be a couple of folk logged in through the website, that signed up with the website, but they're not in the trading room. So you guys get to peep a little something. I've been in the lab, man. I've been in the lab. Every time I come back through the door from running around and whatnot, I've been in the lab. I've been looking at a lot of different things. These pulse waves have been hitting. They've been hitting. I mean, they're always hitting, but they've really been hitting. I'm hoping you guys notice the updated algos to read institutional inflows of money and things like that. Those things have been like real grimy, real shakiness going on in some of these markets. But it's been on point though. It's like lifting up the skirt and saying what's underneath, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. So I've been liking that. I did pull up, I don't know which one of y'all was asking, but I did pull up the ATXI ticker, and I added that to the sheet, so you should see that on Monday's sheet as well. One of the things I noticed is that no matter what has been happening, even when those retail sales numbers and stuff was absolutely whizzack, the market didn't give a darn. They could say that half the planet blew up and the market would still be up. No matter what happens, the only direction is up in the stock market. And that's crazy. This is reminiscent of the 90s. This is what I saw in the 90s. And it's only the beginning stages because this is technically only year one. This is year one. Last year did not count because the prior year had just overcame some things, and we did have some ebb and flows last year. But this is year one. So my call that I made like 6 years ago when I warned that we were possibly heading toward the mother of all bull markets, the one that would make the 90s look pitiful, that's what I have been noticing and seeing happening. The machines have totally taken over the market in every way. Everything is on the buy side right now. I don't think there's a short seller in existence today. If they are, they're getting their heads handed to them. They're getting their faces ripped completely off back to the white meat. And only buying is winning. Every pullback is being bought in the stock market. Every single pullback. Now, another is still the new kid on the block to a lot of things because they were a closed society for so long. So even though we've only been, maybe 20, 30 years building in here now, that's still not a long time. You know what I'm saying? So they've gone from a closed society to becoming mainstream. And they do have 1 billion+ people. But then so does India. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, it's amazing what's happening right now. Now I don't have no inverse plays being hedged in the nat gas. None at all. It's not even worth my time. I feel if I get stopped out, I'll sideline into the next buy trigger. But I think the short side is not even worth me playing it because any pullback is going to be very small. It'd be like trying to short the NASDAQ. I learned my lesson. I might as well just wait and get long and just wait for the get longs. I'm buy side pretty much everything right now. Buy side equities. I'm only buying the NASDAQ, buying all the pullbacks until major support things happen. If support's taken out and momentum changes, then I don't have a choice but to get short. But up here in these levels, just trying to short a correction, you have to be too nimble. I can't be that nimble right now. You know what I'm saying? I can't be that nimble. Some of y'all might be able to be that nimble, but I can't. You have to know your situation. If my situation changes, then I can be a little bit more nimble. I can take more trades. But for right now, nah, I'm just looking for those home runs to maintain. Yeah, I'm still long in nat gas, dude. You have not heard me say I liquidated my nat gas position. I am still long you gas. I have not stopped being long you gas. I've been holding you gas down, it seems like, for the last couple of weeks. I'm riding until the wheels fall off, baby. I'm looking to add and add and add. I'm just waiting for that next trigger and I'm in. I'm gonna be adding to my position on on the next wave, and that's it. So I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I've been calling the 350 for a while. Just like I called that Bitcoin 1500. And then everybody else started trying to chime in after the fact. But I told you Bitcoin 1500 when it was nowhere near it. It's like I called Dow 20,000, Dow 21,000 back when it was in the teens. It was nowhere near that. Matter of fact, it was falling like a rock when I called it. People seem to forget. They have short-term memories. They want to remember things that you say that don't happen. So anyway, it's all good. I don't care about none of that. I just care about you guys making money. That's the only thing that matters. Yeah, right. I'm just a big algo. Hey, man, look, real talk. The that whole AI thing, you guys, man, they will not leave that alone. Even on CNBC and the Bloomberg and the other business channel, they will not leave that alone. They are pushing this AI thing like you wouldn't believe. I saw a hit piece earlier this morning, and they were talking about workers quitting their jobs to take a lesser paying job. Seriously. And they really couldn't give you a really good reason why this so-called research or trend is happening. I'm going to tell you why I think it's a hit piece. Because I think they want to emotionally prepare you for, extremely low wages, lower than we got now, and more minuscule, menial jobs. Seriously, because they're phasing you out. They're phasing out the job. So they want you to think this is normal. Oh, you should leave that good paying job voluntarily because you know you don't like your boss. He's a meanie. Leave that meanie. And that's what they're trying to get you to do. They're trying to get you to think that it's normal. It's okay. This is the way of the future. It's so dumb. You're right, and it is the only way to compete with wages for the rest of the world. That's that globalism agenda. Who cares what's going on in the rest of the world? You should be concerned about what's going on in your own backyard. Why does the U.S. care what their wages are in India? Let India work out India. You know what I'm saying? Well, see, eugenics is part of the globalism agenda. All right, so remember that. Oh, you said too, regards to the Jews. Now, see, that's another thing too, man. And I don't have time to deal with all these issues, but nah, when they say Jews, they need to stop saying the word Jew because they're not talking about the real Jews. That's an insult to the real Jews. There are no real Jews that are in control of Israel. That's those Khazars, okay? Those are Europeans over there. They are not Semitic people. They don't have a strand of Semitic DNA in their body. All right, the real Jews rolled out back in 70 AD and flooded Africa and fled, all right, to the mid-central parts of Africa. That's what they did. They rolled out. They bounced. A lot of them went back to Egypt and other places too, all through the African continent. All right, the real Jews are, as a matter of fact, a lot of the real Jews came over here in slave ships. You called them Africans, but they weren't Africans. They were Jews. They were the Hebrew people. All right. They rolled out after Jerusalem got sacked in 70 A.D. All right. So I'm not trying to make this so-called a race thing because technically speaking, there's no such thing as race. All right. There's only one race, and that's the human race. Ancient people. You never read in ancient literature them talking about white and black. Because technically speaking, there's no such thing as a white man or a black man. If you hold a so-called Caucasian person next to the color white, there's no comparison. They are not white. You hold a so-called black man up to the color black, and there's no comparison. Okay, there are different shades of brown and white. It's melanin in the skin. All right, people refer to themselves based on their tribes, clans, and nationalities. All right, the white and black thing came during the whole eugenics situation. All right, and it comes under so-called white supremacy and things of that nature. All right, but technically speaking, if you do your homework, you will find that the term black does not refer to nationality. It does not refer to one's skin complexion. It is a political term used to distinguish between the haves and the have-nots, the upper and lower class. Blacks are considered people of the lower class. The untouchables in India per se would be considered black. I believe they use the term black in Russia and in Germany also to refer to the disenfranchised. All right, not color and nationality. So because this is not taught, we refer to each other as white and black, which is so ridiculous. All right, it's Caucasian, all right, or European, all right. And when you say European, there are mad countries in Europe, so that still doesn't say what they are. You could be from France, you could be from Great Britain, you could be from Australia, all right. People don't. That's how we need to refer to each other. All right, if you see a man of color, i.e. color, that doesn't tell you anything where they're from or who they are. All right, what nationality or what country are you from? What tribe or clan are you from? All right, and then it makes it even more crazy because now a lot of people are mixed. All right, it's not uncommon to go to a family reunion and see all types of nationalities represented in that family reunion. All right, so this whole thing with the eugenics and all that, and quote unquote racism, all right, white supremacy, that's ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever. And to be quite honest with you, it's a new thing. All right, you didn't start really seeing that come about until, you know, the 1800s, really. All right, you just didn't see that. But unfortunately, people don't do research. They don't know what they're talking about. So now they're trying to do this whole, race bait thing here in this country. They want to have people going at each other's throats. But it's been backfiring because, again, we have a lot of mixed families in the USA. All right. So even our last president was of mixed DNA. All right. So how you going to try to cause dissension in that area? It's just stupidity. But it's a way to keep people distracted so they don't see the takeover of the machines. While you busy battling police brutality and things of that nature, and yes, it is true, no matter what you may think of Alex Jones, he did warn several years ago that police departments across the country were hiring certain types of people. It used to be difficult to get into the police academy, but not anymore, and I can attest to that. I have firsthand knowledge of that. They lowered their standards way, way down. And they were specifically